Hello, everyone. This is Lily Luna, and this is part 5, and probably the final part of the Dustin McPetridge police interview. My analysis. Yeah, it's been a while. You might have thought I was never going to finish this. My last one went up. I think it was like 5 months ago now. Yeah, I just kind of ended up taking the whole summer off from putting up videos, but I've still been around, still been hanging out in some of the live streams, and still been just kind of been in the background. So yeah, but I thought this month and next month with Warrant and Warnmas coming up that this would be a good time to put out some more stuff. So I'm gonna finish this one up, and then I've got a couple others that I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking I may do the Bald Beaver Hunter police interview as well as Lurch because I love Lurch. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, so I definitely will have some more stuff coming up, but for now let's finish this one on up. So where did I watched the end of my last one to kind of see where we left off. I know at the end of my last video I talked a little bit about how Dustin had suggested the three-way with the decoy and her sister, and he is talking right here about how he was talking to an older lady about, I don't know, trying to have sex with her or something. Nothing that really has anything to do with this interview. So yeah, I think we're going to finish this up because there's not a ton left here, so let's go ahead and get started.
Painting her about sex. I think she was joking around about MySpace, and she said, "Oh no, boy, you upset there ain't no sex survey?" I said, "No, but what's your favorite position?" That's all it was.
That's all it was.
I love how flamboyantly he says that. Like, he kind of waves his hand around. Like, I don't know what that's all about. And, like, he's thinking so hard about what he... I don't know if he's just trying to remember exactly what he said or if he's trying to, like, make himself come across in the best light because, what does that really matter? That doesn't have anything to do with anything. I love how he just kind of, like, waved his hand around. Like, I don't know what that was about.
I said,
Oops.
what was it? Would you run away with me? I think it was.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what I think it is? I mentioned this in one of the earlier videos. It's kind of the way he holds himself when he's kind of really animated and talking about something, especially something that he knows is not going to get him into trouble. He's really kind of into the conversation. He's animated. He's making hand gestures. But when he's answering questions that he knows is in dangerous territory that could get him into trouble, that's when he's starting to shut down a little bit more. He'll have his head in his hands or just give, really short answers or answers that don't really answer the question. So I think that's more what that is. That's just he's talking about something that he knows isn't going to, lead to trouble. So that's why he's kind of more open, but he will close off again soon enough.
Just joking with her. I mean, her husband's around. Joking. And I would never do anything like that, and I mean, it's...
Alright. I gotta go. Did you have a driver's license in your wallet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I gotta go get your driver's license.
John's like, yeah, I'm done with you. I don't need to hear any more of this.
Real quick, okay? And then I'll be right back. We'll finish up and we'll get you taken care of so you can get out of here, okay?
Okay. What's going to happen to me, sir?
So this is interesting. I was reading on the Temple of TCAP forums. I was reading one of the older threads about this police interview. And somebody I can't remember what the person's name was, but they pointed out something interesting. They said about this little exchange right here when John's explaining he's going to go to jail and Dustin saying, I can't make bond, what am I going to do? And you'll hear it coming up. John says, well, there's a few options. Somebody, you might get ROR, somebody could sign for you. And if you look, when he says that, if you look at Dustin, you see like his eyes kind of perk up a little bit when he says that. And I think maybe and I think this is what the person said as well, that may have been where because we've all seen the clip of him in court when he's like, can I be signed over to the custody of my mother? I think that may be where he got that idea that somebody could just sign him out. When in reality, what John means is, somebody could bail him out and, put up the 10% plus, some kind of collateral or whatever to get him out of jail. That's what John is talking about. But obviously, Dustin is really naive to the whole legal system and doesn't really understand that. So I think this is where that came from. I guess he thought somebody could just sign him out of jail. But so yeah, that's interesting. You'll see that right here.
Well, I'm going to release you to a transport officer. They're going to take you over to the jail, okay? And they're going to let you make bond, all right?
How much is bond?
I like how his face was kind of open when he's talking. As soon as he says "make bond," they see how his eyebrows went back down. Like, oh shit! Like this is really happening.
I don't know. We don't set that.
Do I have
the jail sets that?
I can't make bond.
Well, there's a lot of different options on it too, but I don't know what they're offering tonight or what it's going to be. Well, like people can sign for you or they can OR you, but it's all up to the judge and up to the jail. I don't have any control.
See how his face kind of got a little hopeful, like, oh, somebody can sign me out. Maybe this won't be so bad. Now he's kind of like got it, like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this. But like I said, he's pretty naive as to the whole legal system. Because he was clearly really, really scared throughout most of this interview. He was genuinely terrified because, the last time he got into this sort of situation, which of course they didn't end up pressing charges. And basically he says earlier in the interview that he doesn't even know the whole story because he got his mom to get him out of it. Like his mommy, that's what Chris Hansen says when he's talking in the raw footage for Donald Morrison, when he's like, well, I know she's going to take my computer and completely throw it away. And Chris is like, well, how come you have to get your mommy to, which same kind of thing. He just let his mom get him out of it. And I guess he thought maybe that could happen again, but not so much.
On that. Okay. But let me get your driver's license. I'll come back and talk to you just 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
I'll skip over a bit of this because a lot of this is just him sitting here. But he says something coming up here, and I can't understand what the hell he says. I've listened to it over and over, and I can't make it out. That right there, I've listened to that. It kind of sounds like he's saying, I can't believe, but then I cannot for the life of me make out what he says after that. If anybody knows, please leave it in the comments, because I just can't understand. Oh, I think he said something about reputation, like I guess he's worried about his reputation being ruined, which you probably should be there, DMac. Okay, I'm gonna skip up a little bit till John gets, because this is just him sitting here.
Correct, sir.
John should be coming back in any time now. He never drank any of that water, did he? Because he can't drink water for whatever reason.
Hey, bud. It's hot in here. You hot? Here's what we're gonna need to do
cold as a
real
clam.
quick. Okay, well, here's what we need to do real quick. All right.
Okay.
What did he say just then? Something about his hands are clammy or something. Play that back real quick.
It's hot here. You hot? Here's what we're gonna need to do
cold as a
real
clam.
quick.
Oh, he's cold as a clam.
Here's what we need to do real quick. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, probably got that cold sweats because he's just freaking out at this point.
All right. We're gonna fill this out right here. Let me ask you this: on your house, I got an address here of.
Oh, was it like one? I looked it up. It was like 145 Hurd Street or something like that. I wonder if is he still living in that? Is he still living in his mom's house? Probably.
House.
I mean,
Correct, sir.
Not a duplex, nothing like that. It's a single house.
Yes. Yeah, I thought Mom had changed it. I can't do nothing. Yeah, get this. Okay, they put red light, the cameras up there in Kingsport at a couple red lights, and I ain't saying nothing bad, but they changed the timing on them from like 5-6 seconds to 3 seconds. And I get to the second hash marking before the red light, it goes to yellow. You know, I thought I could
Yellow.
go through it.
Yeah.
sorry.
And I get halfway below it, and it goes red. Because, I mean, 2 hash markings, you're going to slam on your brakes and probably hit the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So I had to go through it, and I mean, on the registration it says...
What is he even? You know, this part I haven't actually watched as much because this is like towards the end after most of the good stuff is over with. I guess what he's doing here is he's again just trying to deflect. He's trying to point out something that somebody else has done wrong. I guess the point of the story is he's saying he's gotten one of those red light camera tickets before, and it sounds like he's trying to explain why it isn't his fault. But again, this is probably him stalling because he's been told straight out at this point that he's going to jail, and he maybe just thinks the more stuff he comes out with, the more he's still clinging to that hope that they're going to realize that he doesn't belong there and get him out of there. He's probably in a little bit of denial at this point, or, like I said, just plain old stalling because he doesn't want to face what's coming next. But as we know, he's going to have to.
Right.
The ticket only came in Mom's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And
Mom probably wasn't happy, was she?
She said, she was like, well, you owe me $100. I'm like, oh God, that was me, because another car ran the red light at the same time on the other side.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Dustin's kind of trying to buddy up to him again. I mean, obviously it was a lost cause to begin with, but obviously, it's a lost cause. He's already said what he said. He's already buried himself, and nothing's going to keep him from going to jail. But like I said, I can't remember if it was earlier in this series or in another one of my videos, but Dustin is just so freaked out right now. He's so scared that all he's looking for is somebody to be on his side, somebody to be an ally for him, somebody to advocate for him, so he's going to latch on to, whoever. I mean, I would bet you anything that when they release him to whoever transports him to the jail, he would probably try to do the same thing with that guy. Whoever is around and whoever, will be kind of open and talk to him, he's going to try to latch on to that person just so he has some kind of ally. I mean, that's a very common, he doesn't even realize probably that he's doing it, but that's kind of a common thing for people who are coming into this for the first time, who are very naive to the system, very new to it, and are really scared because they've never been through this. So yeah, this is just him kind of trying to get back to that a little bit.
And it's a single house. What color is it?
Whitish, off-white, I guess.
Is it what's on the outside of it? Is it siding or?
Yeah, it's siding.
Is it vinyl or wood or?
It's siding. Vinyl siding.
Vinyl siding.
What are y'all gonna search it now?
Well, I gotta know where it's at and what the description is. And,
yeah, they're gonna search it.
Could I please call her and let her know?
Well, you're gonna get to make a phone call at the jail.
Yeah, call her and I mean, I can actually believe that he, would want to call his mom, and because that's, a reasonable way to feel, that he would want to call her and warn her that there's going to be police showing up to the house so she doesn't get blindsided by it. But so I believe that is his real motivation, but I wonder if his other motivation is to tell his mom to, wipe his hard drive or throw it in the dumpster or burn it. Because even though he doesn't realize really what he said, he told John flat out that, his intention was to destroy the evidence. And like I said, I don't think that Dustin really realizes like the implications of that. I think he was more saying that as a way to, you know, clear it off the table, get himself out of trouble just by saying, "Oh, well, I'll delete it, I'll get rid of it." Then it never happened. But from John's point of view, he's told him that he's intending on deleting evidence. So, and I was reading some articles about DMac, about like what sentence he ended up getting, and it sounds like the very next day they went and searched the house, so they didn't waste a whole lot of time. I mean, he admitted flat out that he had, child pornography on his computer, so I have to think that's why they went so quickly with this one, because they don't want the chance that the mom might try to, delete it, wipe it out, whatever.
And you live a long ways away, so, I'd say it'd probably be a guess, yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's a good point too. He drove how long? 5 hours away, so they had to get some. So the fact that they got the cops either went there themselves or got somebody to local to do it for them, but they had to jump through some hoops to get it done by the next day, I would imagine. So yeah, they were definitely really concerned about what was on his computer, and rightly so, because he flat out admitted what was on it.
I mean,
I would guess, yeah, but I have no control on that.
I mean,
I'm not going down there to search it, okay? But somebody might, and I have no control over when you get your phone call at the jail, okay?
Well, I mean,
I understand.
She's going to be pissed off either way. Sorry to say that.
So your house is vinyl siding, is it?
Yeah, I like how John just cuts him off. Like, yeah, I don't care. And yeah, Dustin, your mom is going to be pissed off, and rightly so, because she's already been through this with you once, much less, to a much lesser degree than what's going on now. But now she's going to have, police searching her home, and I mean, that's not fun for anybody to go through. So actually feel sorry for his mom, because it's not just, this has been talked about in the community a fair bit. It's not just themselves that they screw over when they do this, or in the case of when it's not a sting, it's not just the victim also that gets victimized, but I mean their family, their friends, people in their lives that care about them and stuff. I mean, the damage spreads out a lot further than you might think of, and that just kind of shows like how sick some of these guys are, because they know all of this and they don't care. They don't think about the consequences until they end up right where they're at, till they end up in that chair, and then they know they're just completely fucked at this point.
Is it one or two stories? One story? Is there a garage on it or anything?
Carport, gravel driveway, maroon shutters.
Let's see, how much longer do we have?
Is there a number on it? Or on a mailbox out front or anything?
Should be. I'm trying to think if it's still there or not. There's a... They is or was. The memory's bad. I'm wanting to say there's...
Yeah, he keeps trying to pull out that whole memory's bad thing. I mean, in some of these things, I can... When you're under a high amount of stress, as he is, at this time, you do have stuff. You do have trouble remembering stuff. I mean, there's certain very high stress where you might not be able to recite your own phone number if asked it. So sometimes your mind just does go blank. But he keeps pulling out the memory thing, and it's just not. It's not true, because there's one point earlier in the interview where he says he can't even remember his own birthday sometimes, but just like 5 minutes before that, he had said, oh yeah, my birthday's November 15th, when he was talking about the whole Japanese steakhouse story. So, I mean, maybe he's probably right now just trying to think about what's on his house, and he might genuinely be just not able to think of it because he's under so much pressure and so much stress right now. But the whole memories bad thing, that's just still, he's trying to hang on to that defense so he can try to say, oh, well, I don't remember what her age was, or I genuinely thought she was 17 versus 13, or whatever it is that he's trying to go with.
Gold numbers on the
post, but they may be gone now.
Carport that says 149.
What's the most unusual thing about your house? If I wanted to pick it out, what would I look for?
It's the only one on that side of the street that's got a gravel driveway and a carport.
Okay, only one.
I believe so. And I mean, you ain't gonna miss it with that description.
What about the other side of the street? Are there ones with gravel driveway?
I wonder why John needs like all this description about. I mean, I understand like they want a basic description so they know what they're walking into, but I would think the address would be enough to get them there. I mean, they had GPS at this time. I'm pretty sure they were, maybe not as commonplace as they are nowadays, but I mean, GPS have been around for a while, so but I guess, some houses, especially when you're in a more rural area, they may not be marked or may not be, so that might be why. But I don't know, he's just getting a lot of really specific stuff about the house. But I guess when you're going to bust in on somebody doing a search, you want to make sure you've got the right place.
No houses, I think one trailer has a gravel driveway.
His head's back in his hands.
There's a couple, but that's the only vinyl, I think, with carport.
This stepdad of yours, has he ever been arrested?
I don't know.
Okay. Are there any guns in the house or anything?
I don't know if he has any or not in there. I think they might be a rifle BB gun behind the door.
Yeah, I wonder why he's asking about I mean, he obviously knows at this point that they're going to be searching the house. And the questions about the guns, I mean, that's pretty obvious. They want to make sure that somebody's not going to try to go after him with a gun or something. So I guess that's why he's asking about the stepdad. specifically, but I mean, does he ask about the mom too, or is it just the? Because I mean, either one of them theoretically could, try to pull a gun on the cops, but yeah, I don't, I don't think that's going to happen.
But you've never seen any guns other than the BB gun?
At one point, Mom had like a little Dillinger, but I think she either gave it away or threw it away because it didn't work. That was on top of the refrigerator.
A Derringer, right?
I guess. I don't know. It's to tell about that long. I mean, I guns. I can't fire them, so I don't own any.
Oh, did the video skip a little bit? It seems like it skipped a little bit because it kind of cut to him in the middle of a sentence there. Interesting.
The only gun I may have is a light gun for a video game system. I think I seen that the other day.
John's not laughing, buddy. He's still trying to lighten things up because he's gotten, to the big boy questions and really gotten past that point. Now John's just kind of getting the basic info that he needs now, but he's really still trying to lighten the mood, but John's just not having it anymore. Like, he just doesn't care. He's already gotten mostly what he needs out of Dustin, so he's not going to bother to pretend to be his buddy anymore. He's probably just disgusted at this point.
When I went in there for a controller, but, I mean, that ain't a real gun neither.
Yeah. So. You have any dogs or anything?
I think Mom's keeping her brother's dog in there, and there's a cat.
What kind of dog?
It's like a 6 or 8 week pit bull.
Does it bite?
Playfully.
Okay, but it don't go.
He didn't seem like he wanted to answer that either. And he says playfully. Like, I wonder if I've never had a pit bull before, and I know they can be like really sweet dogs. But I wonder if maybe the dog isn't the best behaved, and that's why because he seemed like he kind of really didn't want to answer that question. So maybe he's worried about the dog acting up or maybe trying to go after the cops or something. So that's interesting.
Grab your leg and try and take a chunk out of you, kill you.
It's about like that, I guess.
I mean, can you walk up and pet it and stuff?
Yeah,
without having it
Yeah.
go for your throat?
Yeah.
All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here, finish up your citation, hand it off to the officer that's going to transport you. Justin, good luck to you.
He called him Justin again. I know he calls him Justin in the middle of the interview. Everybody noticed that, but yeah, he can't even be bothered to remember what this guy's name is. He's just so disgusted at this point, and who can blame him?
You have anything to tell me before I leave? Anything else?
Other than I'm sorry that I didn't mean no harm, and I know I said incriminating stupid stuff, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that kind of just sums it up, doesn't it? He says, I know I said incriminating stupid stuff. Yeah, you did, and you're an idiot for doing that. Couldn't have summed it up any better than that.
And I mean, that's God's honest truth, and I don't want trouble, and I don't want to go to jail, and I don't want to help the legal system, and I hate that I'm wasting your time.
Wow, he's really just trying to this is like his last chance to, go back to everything that he's just said right there. I'm just being honest. I don't want to go to jail. I didn't mean any trouble. I don't like trouble. He's just kind of desperate at this point, and he's just trying one more try at all these arguments just on the off chance that maybe it'll work. But I mean, look at John. He's already gathering his stuff up to go out of the room. He's just done.
I
I'm
say something stupid,
anyways,
but I mean, you're
doing to you, Justin.
Doing
there it is
what
again.
You need to.
It's nice that he shakes his hand. I mean, at least, even though he just totally basically legally kind of buried him in, all the evidence that he's got against him. At least he's polite about doing it, nice enough, I guess.
Can't believe I done this.
And I like how I almost just called him Justin too. I like how he says he doesn't mean to waste his time, but you're not though. I mean, it's not a waste of his time to get a child predator, to jail. That's actually a very good use of the police's time. But of course, he's not going to see it that way.
Let me guess, NBC's gonna follow me around everywhere.
Well,
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean they're going to be in court. I don't know if they took foot. I mean, in some of the stings, they like I'm thinking of the Fort Myers one specifically. I don't know if they did. I think they did it in the Georgia sting too. And the one with Westerbeck, the Ohio. A lot of them they did take footage like inside the jail, but I don't think we've seen any jail footage from the Kentucky sting. Pretty sure we haven't. So maybe in that case I mean, obviously they've got to be allowed to go into the jails and bring the camera crews in there and stuff. But yeah, Dustin, that's a pretty good guess. They are going to follow you around wherever they can, and you're going to end up on national TV, which, yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it. I'm sorry you're disabled, Dustin, but that's not an excuse to molest a child. Like, you're gonna end up being infamous on YouTube and in the TCAP community, so congrats for that.
They're the media, and I don't run the media, okay? Alright. I'm gonna go out here, write this citation up, and we'll be back with you.
What's he putting in his pocket there? Or taken out of his pocket? Yeah, he is so stressed out right now. So stressed. How much longer do we have? I think the rest of this, he's mostly just sitting in here. Is this the one where everybody says at the end that that if you hear the cops talking in the hallway and they're talking about Lorne, but I don't think that's right, because this Dustin's sting happened on the 20th. I've got the chat log pulled up right here. Yeah, 10:20, and we know Lorne's sting was on the 18th, so that was on 2 different days, so I don't think they would be talking about Lorne at this time. I think this is the one. I don't see the comment though, so maybe I'm thinking of another one. Yeah, let's see. Do we get anything else here? Let's take a look. Poor Dustin. Wonder if he realizes that this is his last few minutes as a free man, because I mentioned in an earlier video that I wasn't sure if he bonded out or if he stayed rather in jail. And now I have recently read some of his court documents and the letters he wrote to the judge and stuff, and no, yeah, he said he's been incarcerated since this night, so he went to jail and never got out until he was released. So yeah, this is his last few minutes as a free man for another 8 years, but of course he doesn't know that yet. He probably just thinks, okay, I'll spend the night in jail, I'll be able to get out tomorrow, maybe my mom can sign me out or whatever. And then, but yeah, if he only knew that he was, he's about to not be a free man anymore. I mean, that's a that's a really big deal. I mean, losing your freedom is no joke, but that's what happens when you download child porn. That's a direct consequence of that sort of thing. I'm gonna skip a little bit because let's see. Yeah, I think the rest of it is just him sitting here. I'll skip to when I don't think he says anything else.
Because, I ain't gonna fight you guys.
Where this other computer is, your old computer.
Let me get back to him.
Confiscate all the CDs.
Alright, 123. Alright, he's about to come back in. Yeah, it's just like a solid 15 minutes of Dustin just sitting there stressing and being miserable and thinking about what's about to happen, and yeah, you can just see it all over his body language.
Alright, they're just about ready to get you out of here. Oh, I'm sorry, bud.
Have they already sent cops to the house to search?
No, not at all.
What are they going to do? Confiscate all the CDs and computers?
Well, now they can...
He's really worried about that. I know he mentions earlier in the interview that he can't lose his computer because he does those wrestling DVDs, but oh, Dustin, that's the least of your worries right now. And he's definitely worried about them confiscating the CDs and stuff. Yeah, they're gonna take all that and they're gonna gather all the evidence that they can. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Now this, I said earlier, him wanting to call his mom, I do believe a lot of that is just him wanting to warn her of what's about to happen. But this, now he's freaking worried about what they're gonna find. He absolutely is.
The computer you use is the only computer in the house, right? That's in your area?
Yeah.
Are there any other computers in the house?
No. The only other computer that was in the house was broken, and...
Where's it at?
At a friend's house. So we're trying to figure out if we can fix it or not.
Alright.
But there's nothing on it, and honestly, I'll be honest with you. If y'all...
Who's that friend? Is it the same wrestling buddy friend?
No. On the computer deal,
mm-hmm.
all the stuff that I've ever downloaded is on the secondary hard drive.
Right.
So if the cops want that,
mm-hmm.
if they would allow me to keep the computer and me just give them the hard drive.
Oh, now he's trying to cut a deal with them. That's awesome. I like how John sat back down, like he thinks maybe... I think he thinks what he's about to say is maybe there's stuff on that broken computer too that's at the friend's house, which it could well be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dustin, he does come across as fairly computer savvy, so I would think that he would know enough to, download what he's going to download, put it on, a CD or whatever he's going to save it on, and then get it off the computer. But who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? He made a lot of stupid mistakes here, so I could see him doing that as well.
I would take it out and hand it to him and let them see the...
Alright. What's your eye color?
Huh?
What's your eye color?
Yeah, he still thinks that he's gonna... He thinks that he's gonna be back home before they come to search the house and grab the computer and stuff, because he thinks he's gonna be able to probably go home, scrub the hard drive, give them whatever they need, and then keep the computer, but doesn't work that way, Dustin. Does not work that way.
I don't know. It changes.
Green?
Some days it's green, blue, and...
What's your approximate weight?
250, 260.
What's your home phone?
It's always connected to the internet, so...
Okay, do you have an emergency phone number?
Oh, they still had dial-up? He said it's always connected to the internet. Wow.
What's this, where this other computer is, your old computer? What's that person's name where it's at?
Ben.
Do you know his last name?
No.
Do you know his address?
No.
Just Ben. Would your mom know where to find him?
Oh yeah, they're worried about this. I wonder if I know that they found those CDs and stuff that Dustin mentions. They found all that stuff. I wonder if there was anything on this other computer, because John's definitely interested in this. And again, how is it going to be at somebody's house and you don't know either their last name or where they live? He's trying to avoid, but it's not too hard to track people down like that, so they'll find him.
Don't think so. I've never.
What's Ben do?
He repairs computers for a living.
Okay.
If the police want it, I'll take it to him.
Okay. All right.
You're not going to get the chance.
I ain't gonna fight you guys because if I fight you guys, it's gonna make everything worse on me. So
Right. What's your you ever been married at all?
Yes.
So are you divorced?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm surprised DMac's been married before this, and I know I've read online that, I don't know how true this is, but that his now ex-wife had knew a little bit about some of his habits as far as the, child pornography, or knew that he was attracted to younger girls, and maybe that, I think he says in the chat log that she cheated on him, and that's why they're, apart. And even if she did, he's a freaking pedophile, so really, who cares? I would probably cheat on him too if, I would think she probably didn't know about that when she married him and found out after. I would think, but, who knows? You never know about people.
Probably what's driving me crazy.
You want to come out here? You come on with me.
And that is it. We are done with the DMac. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really like that interview. This has 700,000 plus views. I'm probably responsible for about 100,000. Well, obviously not really, but I'm responsible for a good portion of those views because I have watched this one over and over. But yeah, that's DMac all done with. His chat log's interesting too, but I don't know if I'll do an analysis of his chat log. That's already been done many times. Probably not much new that I can add to it. But we'll see. And like I said, I think I want to do I'm interested in doing Bald Beaver Hunter and Lurch as far as their interrogation videos. And maybe this Timothy, that was the live stream I popped into on Clobbering Times channel. It was going over his police interview, which is funny because I had actually been watching this one earlier today. That's an interesting one too. He's not a TCAP guy. This was a perverted justice sting that they also did in Kentucky, so he wasn't on the show, but that's still a pretty interesting one. So I might look into doing that one as well. And yeah, I'm gonna come out with some more stuff for Lornt and leading up to Lornmas and everything. So yeah, until next time, this has been Lily Luna, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.